Hey YouTube, Z38 here. We're going to be talking about the classic Thresh into Morgana matchup and how to beat it. I'll give you a lot of tips, and we're going to be jumping through some gameplay footage, like gameplay clips, and some practice mode. And then we're going to be going in order of, tips for laning phase to mid game to late game, because that's just what makes sense. So, number one, what you do, you load into a game against Morgana, you run into the river and you ward. You do not want to die to a Morgana invade. It's very common, so just ward, and if you don't die, then your team won't get tilted. It's a really good tip. Okay, number two is when you go to the level 2 power spike. If you don't know what that is, click at the top right. I have a video on it. It's really in depth, so definitely check that out. Now, uniquely to Morgana, the level 2 power spike, you need to ensure that she did not level up her black shield level 1. This is really important, because if you try to go in level 2 and she leveled up her black shield level 1, you are going to do absolutely nothing. So you must make sure that she uses her cage or her pool. So I have an example of this as a gameplay clip. So up until this point, Morgana still has never used an ability. I turn level 2, you see the wave is okay. I could try to flash on a Kaisa here, flash Flay, but I don't know if she started black shield or not, so I'm just not going to do that. Oh, so instead of doing that, I'm going to walk up and just pressure to see if she's going to use an ability. And she showed her cage, she used her cage, so I'm saying, okay, she used her cage, now it's on cooldown. What can I do? Kaisa oversteps, we go in, and we get the kill. So that's a really big tip. Level 2, make sure she does not level up her shield level 1. Now, I think a lot of people are okay up to that point, kind of. The big part is after she has her black shield. Like, how do you play against someone who can just negate your hook? Well, there's a few different ways. Exactly 4 that I can tell you about. The first one is just a simple walk up and fly. As we can see here, this is just from like a diamond game. I'd like all my clips, diamond 3, diamond 4 games. And Morgana's just not using any abilities. Who knows why, but I don't know. Just walk up, we throw the lantern, you get a good position with your ADC. So you can see that Morgana is like trying to run away now, but at this point it's too late. We just have such a good position on her that she can't do anything. So always just walk up and play, give it a shot. Even if her cage is up and you get hit by the cage, oh well, you just back off. So in this scenario, it's kind of the same idea here. She used her cage, so her cage is down. So instead of walking up to flay, I have my flash up, so I can just flash and fly in. Then it goes right into the hook, so that way she doesn't really have any time to use her E. Then when she does use her E, it's useless because we've already CC'd her. So, again, like the first thing is just always walk them and fly. Never underestimate it. And now for the other 3 ways to try to bait out the black shield or play against it, we're going to jump into practice mode. Okay, welcome to practice mode, and now we're going to talk about those other 3 ways. First is going to be like the longest explanation here. It's going to be the classic fake out hook. Now, how to pull this off? We're just going to ignore the minions for now. Pretend this is Morgana, and this is the enemy ADC. You are going to sit here and stare Morgana down, right? So you're going to position here, and you want to face this way. Now, you can face this way. Now, I have smart casts on for my hook, so see my cursor is over here. I can throw my hook over there, and it looks funny because the animation doesn't really line up. So again, this is a really classic Thresh maneuver here. So you're running in, you're like, oh, I'm gonna hook the Morgana, and then psych. So that's a really important skill to figure out. You can go into practice mode and try it out. It definitely takes a little bit of practice to figure out, but again, you just kind of stare here and then move your hook. Like you can even go a 180 hook. It's a pretty cool trick that you can do to fake out Morgana's, because what she's going to do is when she sees the hook start to animate, like the wind up, she's going to black shield herself, and then that allows you to hook the ADC. Or you can try to pretend like you're hooking the ADC and then hook her. Alright, now we're going to talk about the other 2 ways. The third way is basically you're kind of betting that so you're betting that you can hit 2 hooks in a row. Morgana's Black Shield has about a 3 or 4 second higher cooldown than your hook if you land it. So either you can just run around, throw a hook, let's say you land it and she uses her Black Shield, that's okay, because then the next time your hook comes up, you have like a 3 second window while her Black Shield is still on cooldown. And then if you land another hook here like that, she doesn't even have Black Shield up, so you should be able to engage off of that. You could also do that by hooking like a minion, trying to fake hook. So if there's like caster minions here, let's just say you throw a hook and you purposely hit the minion, she might panic Black Shield. Then as soon as your hook comes up again, you have like a 3-4 second window to throw your hook and land it. This one is pretty hard to do because you have to land 2 hooks in a row, or like try to get her to bait out the Black Shield at least on the first hook. But it's doable. I've done it before. I don't really have gameplay clip of it, but you can do that. Now the fourth final thing is that this is a big thing I've heard of. I've tried it. I've never seen it work. I'm just going to say it because I just want to be thorough. But if you just throw your lantern, apparently that scares people, and she might use her Black Shield, or she might even flash away or something. Again, I've never seen it work. I don't really recommend this because if you're like pushing up really far and there's no vision or something and you throw a lantern, then you kind of screw yourself over because you might have needed that like 100 shield or like that 50 health shield to live from a gank. So I mean, I don't know, you can try it, but I've never seen it work. So that's pretty much it. So again, the first 4, number 1, just walk up, lantern fly, see what happens. Or if she doesn't have her cage up, definitely run in and like lantern fly. The second one is to do the fake hook, go here, hook here. And then the third one is to try to land 2 hooks in a row and since her Black Shields can be like on another 3 second cooldown, try to squeeze in 2 hooks. Then the last one is just throw a lantern. Now, trying to play after she's level 6, instead of doing you want to use the same ideas, but you don't want to lantern flay, because if she ults, you're lanterning your ADC into her ultimate. So what you really want to do here is try to go for, this is where like the double hook idea kind of comes in. Like if you throw a hook, then she like uses Black Shield to negate it. You have a 3 second window to try to land another hook. If you land that, then that's easier for your ADC to engage off of. You're fighting. She ults, you can lantern your ADC out of her ult, and then maybe switch targets or something like that. So using lantern to save an ADC from an ult, or even just like in mid game, maybe somebody gets picked, you want to lantern them away from her ult, that's definitely a really good use of lantern. Now we're going to jump back to some gameplay clips, because that pretty much wraps up laning phase. Alright, welcome back to some gameplay clips now. We're going to be talking about mid game and late game. I kind of combine mid game and late game because you have to know it's kind of the same skill set. So the first thing that's very important is you have to learn how to play around Morgana's E range. So in order to know that, maybe go into practice mode, figure out Morgana's E range, learn it. In order to beat a champion, you need to know how to play that champion. So I definitely highly recommend going to practice mode, trying out Morgana in some normal games, etc. to learn her, because you need to learn that E range. In this clip, I know Morgana's E range really well, so as we can see, I'm gonna kind of land. This is gonna be a little hard to explain because I'm gonna have to try to explain how I'm landing a predict hook on Jhin while at the same time doing so outside of Morgana's E range. So we're gonna try that. Okay, we see Nunu and Jhin are running straight down the lane, and in here I'm assuming the rest of their team is here. Jax is over there, I don't know why. So there are 4 people mid running down. We have 5 mid, and the way they're running is there's like some little fog of war here. I bet most of them are over here because this is like such a small area that there can't be like 3 champions here, right? So most champions are going to be here. I'm betting Morgana is going to be like around this area-ish, but they're all running straight down. So they're not expecting us to even be in range of fighting because we're not. This is why I flash in to get into range. And I was a little bit off in my prediction. I see Morgana's a little bit closer than I expected her to be. So Jhin is definitely on like the outside of her E range here. However, they were all in the mentality of running straight down the lane. So for her to assume that I'm gonna flash hook, it's kind of a weird prediction on her part to try to predict I would flash hook. So I don't think she's gonna think I'm flash hooking, if that makes sense. Like I think that this play is unexpected enough that she's not gonna use her black shield in time because they're all running straight down the lane together. So she would never think that we would try to like chase after them. So that's basically what happens. She keeps running straight down because she doesn't even really notice the quick play I make here, and then I land a nice hook on the Jhin, in which I actually force him out of Morgana's E range. So he, let's say I throw a hook straight here. I throw this straight hook here. He thinks he thinks that I'm gonna hook straight because he wants to run to Morgana, right? He wants that black shield, so he wants that safety. He's gonna run to Morgana. So he's like, I can't run to Morgana now because Thresh is probably gonna hook there, so I have to run away from Morgana. And even if I miss this hook here, the same result would probably still happen, like about the same result, because I forced Jhin out of Morgana's E range for like at least a good 2 or 3 seconds, and that allows my team to have a really good follow-up. See, like, even if I didn't land the hook here, Morgana's all the way down there. Like, she just, I don't know if she was sleeping or what, but, you know, it's important to be able to play around her E range. Now she finally comes back, but it's way too late. So you definitely want to play around that. I know that might have been a little bit confusing because I was explaining a lot at the same time. This one's going to be a little bit simpler though. So this is more of a late game, 36 minutes in, pretty late game. It's the same game actually, and so as a support, a general tip is to never face check when you're warding, and especially against Morgana, you definitely want to respect even her cage. So I call it like don't face cage, because if she's standing in here, her cage range is like up to here. So if you notice, I'm not in her cage range at all. So like I'm respecting her cage range. I'm not even there's a difference between face checking, but like the cage range, definitely important. Don't go into there. See how I kind of hit this point and then I turn around because I'm respecting it, and bam, there she was. She was right in there, and she moved. Since she moved to cage me, it's kind of like the reverse is happening. So I was respecting her cage range, but in order for her to land a cage onto me, she has to disrespect my hook range. So it's a little bit, I know it's a little confusing, I'll say it again. In order for her to be able to cage me in this range, she had to come into my hook range to cage me, basically. So, and the big thing is she has no vision here. So she won't be able to tell when I'm hooking. So she doesn't see the hook until it comes out of here, right? So I mean, she has what, like half a second to react, if that. So she still doesn't see the hook, and then it's like, bam, she sees the hook, but it's too late. I hook her in, and this is typically what's going to happen if you hook a Morgana. The enemy team kind of ran away, because they're just sort of saying, okay, let Morgana die, she got picked off. Morg is always going to like Zanya Black Shield ult herself every single time without fail. And Kayn, I think, kind of just inted here. He didn't even use it. He's not using his ult. I don't know. So you land the hook on a Morgana, just let her blow everything. Let her blow her ult, let her blow her Zanya's, blow her Black Shield, and just walk out of her ultimate. I actually threw, I didn't throw Lantern here for the Kayn because he was pretty much dead. So that's also important judgment, as I was saying earlier, like in the laning phase. You don't want to Lantern people into the ult, you want to Lantern them out. If Kayn was maybe half health, I would have Lanterned him, or maybe I thought he would ult and not be such a monkey, but whatever. So as you can see, they already ran out of her ults, they're coming back into fight, and I'm just getting out of her ult now. And she flashes away, like Teemo gets a Q on her, I think. And then we're able to somehow like figure this out because Zed kind of fell off, and then we ended up winning. If you liked the video, definitely leave a like and subscribe, and leave any note in the comments for any feedback. I definitely appreciate anything you guys want to, like, anything you want to see, let me know, and anything I can do better, definitely let me know too. So thanks for watching.